to predict the future, given the age of AI and tech? How much does privacy and advocacy of beliefs matter? Who is to be trusted is no longer a question of faith or knowledge. Two books predicted this situation: George Orwell's 1984 and Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. The collection explores the dystopia of these books in terms of their current relevance through a mix of prints, street styles, and animation. Easy silhouettes capturing the current trends, mixed with tailored clothing, leading us to a brave new world where 2 plus 2 equals 5.
You've been having some strange thoughts. Do you remember writing in your diary, freedom is freedom to say 2 plus 2 makes 4?
Yes.
So I'll ask you, how much is 2 plus 2?
4.
What is this plus this?
I told you 4.
So I'll ask you again, what is 2 plus 2?
4, 4, 4.
I'll ask you one last time, how much is 2 plus 2?
by Narendra Modi.
It was a bright cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Winston Smith, his chin nuzzled into his breast, victory mansions, though not quickly enough to prevent a swirl of gritty dust. The flat was 7 flights up, and Winston, who was 39, had a varicose ulcer. He went slowly, resting several times on the way. Each landing opposite the lift shaft, the poster with the enormous face glazed from the wall. It was one of those pictures which are so contrived that the eyes follow you. When you move, Big Brother is watching you.
You know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying and chalk. I really hate the truth, but I gotta know. At the group, I see myself in the pistol smoke.
And in exceptional cases, we can make one ovary yield over 15,000 adult individuals. Beckoning to a fair-haired, ruddy young man who happened to be passing at the moment. Mr. Foster, he called. The ruddy young man approached. Can you tell us the record for a single ovary, Mr. Foster? 16,012 at this center, Mr. Foster replied without hesitation. He spoke very quickly and had a vivacious blue eye and took an evident pleasure in quoting figures. 16,012 in 189 batches of identicals. But of course they've done much better, he rattled. In some of the tropical centers, Singapore has often produced 16,500. Mombasa has actually touched 17,000 mark. But they have an unfair advantage. They should see the way a Negro ovary responds to pituitary. It's quite astonishing when you're used to working with European material. He added.
Wanna be like on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. Victory Mansions were the home of 4 ministries. The Ministry of Truth, which concerned itself with news, entertainment, education and the fine arts. The Ministry of Peace, which concerned itself with war. The Ministry of Love, which maintained law and order. And the Ministry of Plenty, which was responsible for economic affairs. Newspeak, many true, many packs, many love, many plenty. But the Ministry of Love was the really frightening one.
I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my tin in my hand and the gleam in my eye. I'm a low down gangster, set tripping banker. And my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, damn thing, nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know.
Yeah, me now, you wanna ride or die? La 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 la. Come with me, and I'm every nigga run
family, monogamy, romance. Everywhere exclusiveness, everywhere a focusing of interest, a narrowing channeling of impulse and energy. But everyone belongs to everyone. After all, Lenina was protesting. It's about 4 months now since I've been having Henry. Only 4 months? I like that. What's more? Fanny went on, pointing an accusing finger. There's been nobody else except Henry all that time, has there? Lenina blushed scarlet, but her eyes, the tone of her voice, remained defiant. No, there has been no one else. And she answered almost translucently. I jolly well don't see why there should be someone else. Oh, she said jolly she doesn't know why there should be someone else? Fanny repeated, as though an invisible listener behind her left shoulder.
Scared, but my heat's worse from another previous I gave you love, now you
Please in the place with style and grace. Allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes. Who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping more witness where you find. The back of the club, knocking holes, my crew's behind me. Mad question asking, blunt passing, music lasting. But I just can't quit because one of these homies Biggie got to creep with, sleep with, keep the F a secret. Why not? Why blow up my spot? Cause we both got hot. Now check it. I got more Mac than Craig and in the bed. Believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the nigga.
Now we can see you, said the voice. Stand out in the middle of the room, stand back to back. Clasp your hands behind your heads, do not touch one another. You may very well say goodbye, said the voice. And another quite different voice, a thin, cultivated voice. And by the way, while we're on the subject, here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. He stood dead still. No one had hit him yet. Thoughts, which come of their own accord but seem totally uninteresting, began to flit through his mind. He wondered where he'd gone. He noticed he wanted to badly go. He noticed the clock on the mantelpiece said 9:21. But the lights
When come over, tell your friends up in the GF3. I got the chronic by the tree. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. To the homies, getting money, playing niggas like homies. You gotta come up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Perhaps I was blind to the facts. Stabbed in the back, I couldn't trust my own homies. Just a bunch of dirty facts. Will I succeed? Never know it from the lead. And hope it's supposed to try to focus, but I can't see. And in my mind, I'm a blind man doing time. Look to my future, cause my past is all behind. See the crime, the fight for what's mine. Everybody's gone, tell me what's the use in trying. I've been trapped since birth. Cautious, cause I'm cursed. And fantasies of my family in the earth. And they say it's the white man, I severe. But it's my own time, doing all the killing here. I can't lie, ain't no love for the other side. Jealousy inside, make a miss and die. Oh my Lord, tell me what I'm living for. Everybody's trusting, got me knocking on heaven's door. And all my memories are seeing brothers bleed. And everybody agrees, but still nobody sees. Recollect your notes, don't get caught up in the mix. Cause the media is full of dirty tricks. Only God can judge me. Yeah, baby. Only God can judge me. 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 Only God can judge me.
Lenina felt herself entitled, after this day of queerness and horror, to a complete, absolute holiday. As soon as they got back to the rest house, she swallowed 6 half-gram tablets of Soma. She lay down on her bed and within 10 minutes had embarked on a lunar eternity. It would have been 18 hours at least before she was in time again. Bernard lay pensive, wide-eyed, in the dark. It was long after midnight before he fell asleep. long after midnight, but his insomnia had not been fruitless. He had a plan.
Park it like it's hot. If a nigga get an attitude, pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Got the rollie on and I'm pouring Sean down and I'm over that sweet cause I got it going on. I'm a nice dude with some nice dreams. See these ice cubes, see these ice creams. Eligible bachelor, $1 million bowl. That's whiter than what's spilling down your throat. The phantom, exterior like fish eggs, the interior like suicide wrist rag. I can exercise you, this could be your phys ed. Cheat on your man, that's how you get a his ad. Killer with the beat, I know killers in the street with the still to make you feel like chinchilla in the heat. So don't try to run up on my ear talking all that raspy shit. Trying to ask me shit. When my niggas figure this they go past.
Control life. We control life. You are the man. I do not care in the end, it will meet you sooner or later. You imagine there is something called human nature which will be outraged by what we do. But we create human nature. Or perhaps you could return to your old idea. They are helpless, like animals. Humanity is the party. The other is as outside.